So usually it's with a bit of authoritative, paternal smackdown kind of, putting someone in their place. It would probably be it. I would never do it because I was greedy for their wave. It would be because they were like a Russian who didn't know the rules. We get plenty of them. We get plenty of Euro donkeys. I mean, basically where I surf belong, and there's more donkeys in the Old Testament. It's just like, you just see these gorgeous, overhead green walls just reeling down the reef. And then this just hideous thing stink bugging its way across it, just donkey position, all squatted down. And you just want to stab your eyeballs with an ice pick. It hurts. It's actually physically painful to look at. And we get that all the time there. And they don't know the rules because these idiots learn to surf with surf schools later in life. Right. They didn't Gus. Grew up in real surf places where the grommets get slaps.
Yeah.
And then there's lineups and pecking orders and grouchy old guys and younger guys. And then, the grommets have to come up through all of that. And, I went through all of that. You guys, I'm sure, went through all of that.
Yep.
These fuckers didn't. They learned to surf in their early 20s with lessons, and like people who learn a language late in life, you always got an accent, so you can tell them walking on the beach because they hold their surfboards like Paul Simon holds his guitar. Which is wrong, like awkward. So they just never look like, the way like people who grew up surfing from small kid time, hold their surfboard a certain way when they're walking down the beach. Front could be fins first or fins backwards, doesn't matter. It's just the way the board. You can just tell how good somebody's going to serve just by looking at them.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Well, we get that because you get so many people who don't hold their board right, and leashes drag in and this and that, and then they get out there and they don't understand etiquette. Oh, and then Russians are the worst because they don't get all like drama queeny like Brazilians and grabbing their nuts and screaming. Before a Brazilian punches you, there'll be 20 minutes of like drama queen stuff. Russians will just look at you with this dead look, without saying a word, without doing anything, without any excess motion. They just caught their board and like shoot in your face.
Wow.
Like another kind of thing. They're the only kooks. They're the only kooks you can't regulate
because you don't know what's coming.
You don't know. I mean, the thing is, I've had a few funny incidents. So, I mean, your question was 5 words. Was the last thing you dropped in? I don't know, but I have a photograph of some guy who's getting on my tits, and he's behind me, and I'm like doing a arching bottom turn, and he's standing there with he couldn't make it. So it was. I don't know if it was a real drop.
You knew he wasn't going to make it, so you went, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know the wave well. I know every bend in the reef, and if somebody and you calibrate really fast, like their ability, where they're taking off from to it's all surfers do it, and the more crowded the waves, the more surfers do it.
Right.
And good surfers learn quickly to read everything. You check people out on their ability right away.
Without a doubt.
So I think he'd been getting on my tits and my stuff then, and I didn't even think about it because I knew he wasn't going to make it. But I bought a photograph later of a guy, and there was the guy, and his face looks like so angry. Behind me, as I'm sort of, I was somewhere else with a kind of like smile, like leaning into a kind of arch bottom turn.
You have to send us that photo so we could use that for your thumbnail for the show.
You're like, I'm an asshole. Look at me.
It's not my favorite surf photo. I just like it because I remember the guy who was pissing my son and I off. He was like he didn't know the rules.
Right.
I've become one of those old cranks who believes in fair play, but I'm awfully fussy about it being enforced with precision. So really, the rules are really, really important. Like etiquette is really, really important.
Yep.
And I get very stroppy out of my regular spots if I see people like disrespecting that order. Because you on a crowded day, if the right group of people are out and setting the tone, everybody gets waves and everybody's happy and it's a fun session. Then you get idiots who throw it all off. So really, it's not the amount of people; it's the tone and the general vibe and the mutual understanding of the collective out in the water at that moment.
Yeah, one person not in
all the
sync
difference.
with the rest can ruin the entire experience.
Right.
You know, then everybody starts, trying to get to the peak, trying to get the next wave, versus if everyone's just kind of cool and doing what you're supposed to do, it's orderly and it's more fun. I don't know.
And all you need is one person to start putting someone into a dangerous position on a big day, and it goes out the window. The whole thing goes out the window.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
so last question was, what was your most recent memorable wave?
Oh, there have been so many, but I had one of the best waves of my life last year. So it's going to be that one for sure, because it was just like it was 2 weeks after I turned 60, and I just had a baby daughter. So I was kind of in a state of shock because, there's no way on this green earth that a 20-year-old me would look forward 40 years and say, like, you'd be riding that wave and holding your baby daughter. But yeah, I got this thing. I got 2 waves, actually. One's on video, and the other one is I only got still photos of it. But yeah, it's a 12-foot beast, and I got just a tube for forever. And then the other one too. One's on my the sequence of the bigger wave is on my Facebook. June 11th is the date last year. And then the smaller one, I just stuck it on my Instagram. It's a video.
I saw the one on the Instagram. That was unbelievable.
That was a smaller one.
I know, you said that.
Yeah, that was yeah, that was a big day. I mean, it doesn't look that big. It was big out there. It's fucking dumb. I was on an 8.6 with an impact vest, the whole thing.
Oh wow!
Well, I was impressed because on the takeoff, it looked like there was nobody around. Like you owned it. It was yours.
There was but there was only when it gets that big, you're down to like 7 people out in the lineup, and it's a big lineup.
Right.
That's why I like it big. And I don't know how much longer I got to ride those big waves because my lungs are fucked. I'm scared of them now. I used to just laugh when I wiped out on a big wave. It was funny. Now it's terrifying. Well, I went and got emphysema from years of smoking, and it's not fun underwater anymore. You can feel the blackout coming. Whereas before it would just be like no wave could hold you down that long.
Yeah.
That you'd it was just like fun.
Wow.
And those days are gone. But anyway, I don't plan to stop riding the big ones.
But you're still there doing it. You're still doing it.
Yeah.
Well, not this year so far. This year has been a kind of
You'll get back.
Yeah, it's well, you guys can't believe. It's just amazing. We get Padang sessions with 8 people out. Just look at the cams. Just look at the cams. We got swells coming up. Just go look at the cams at Padang. It's just fucking insane. Some days have more people out. Some days you might go there and there might be 15 people out or more, but still that's uncrowded for Padang. It's insane. Like the really world-class waves, and just this is once in a lifetime, and gonna have to get up to speed.
Jeez. Well, great. Well, thank you for your time.
My pleasure. I feel really bad because I didn't put anything together. I'm truly been a kind of space case. We just shifted from our California house where we got stuck. That's been part of it. We got stuck there for 6 months. Usually I spend 6 months extra, I think. I don't know. Anyway, we got stuck for months extra, and then the baby and stuff. So this whole period, and then we finally made it out here after like a nightmare trip for the ages, making the shift out here. And then we kind of get here and then 2 weeks quarantine. But the whole thing, and I'm just I don't know. I'm just sort of not putting, my brain is not putting things. So I mean, like so I'm sitting there going, earlier.
Well,
I feel
we're
so bad.
contending with a lot, where it's tough to keep it all together. I mean, God, we've got families, we've got artwork, we've got a house to take care of, we've got artistic practices, we've got,
Wait, so you're in New Jersey.
I'm in New Jersey,
You're in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Where are you in New Jersey?
I'm in just outside of Asbury Park.
Oh, way down. Is that okay to be that far from like the center of New York?
Yes, I did my 12 years in New York too, and I had to leave. I didn't go all the way to Bali, but I came down. I'm like less than a mile from the beach.
Yeah.
So I got good waves right here, and I go into Manhattan like 2 times a week for work. That's about it.
Oh, that's plenty. Jeez.
Yeah.
And
I'm an hour and 10 minutes from like Soho by car.
Yeah, that's like a lot of people in LA.
Yeah.
Sort of how far they are from the galleries, etc. If you live in Malibu, if you live in Topanga.
And I don't know if you surfed in New Jersey much when you were living in New York, but there's some pretty good waves down here when the swells actually start kicking up.
I've surfed there enough to know that it gets good, but I did more in Montauk and Long Beach and
I grew up
Rockaway.
on Long Island, so I spent most of my time out on Fire Island and surfing Democrat Point. But then as I got older and could drive, I was out in Montauk, Long Beach, the whole thing. It's a nice place to grow up. So
yeah.
Well, there's a whole scene. You're still plugged in your collector base. Aren't all those freaking galleries like putting up pop-up shops out there now because they're just trying to follow the collectors?
The money's out.
With the freaking they're just following money like goddamn shameless.
Yeah, Scarstead just did a pop-up out there that's going to be more permanent. They do an art fair out there usually, but they're not going to do it this year, I don't think, because of the COVID situation. But
do you guys know Tripoli?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trip's a good friend. I met him in Bali. He used to live here when he was a kid.
Oh, wow.
And I did a show with him a couple of years back, I guess.
I like his perspective on the type of work that he shows. And the new space that he just created is great.
They got a couple nice little shows going on.
Mm-hmm.
He's got also Keith Saunier's estate, I believe. But he's got now when you leave the plywood walls raw.
I don't know. I'm interested by it though. I'm interested by it.
I think it's a thing now because Las Vegas Biennale they did that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Tripoli just probably didn't want to pay.
A lot of space.
That's funny.
He's paired up with I forget somebody with a bit more financial muscle than Trip has, and somebody from Marlborough. That's right. Yeah. And so he's showing other people like Tony Martelli and different people. Yeah, and I think they leave the key there and people book a slot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of adaptations people are going through trying to.
Yeah, the artists I'm working with now we're looking to open up by appointment only space in Brooklyn, just because it's difficult now to get the work out there. Because when you were in New York, you could actually have a show, socialize, get out and do things. But if people right now are having a hard time getting that exposure and things like that, so we're trying to do a little appointment space for bigger collectors come in and actually have a private tour of whatever they're working on at that moment. Kind of like an open studio, but more of a gallery setting somewhere in between.
Oh yeah, no, actually I could have used something like that in LA because I bought a bunch of work over and I was supposed to set up something because, Damien wanted to set me up with meetings with Gagosian and all these people and, I was going to have to set all my work up in some kind of space. So that would have actually been a kind of thing because to rent a space would have been like a 3-year lease. It would just been an outlay that would have been unrealistic.
Yeah, but I have a friend. My friend's in town from Japan. He's got a residency spot.
People are in town from?
He's here for a year on the ISCP.
Oh, okay. A year. I see. No, because usually when you say a friend's in town, it just means they just got there. I go, who's just